Welcome to another video session. In this video session, we will very briefly and broadly will discuss various computer science career domains. So this video is basically intended towards students of final year and third year of computer science and IT, where you are on a verge of making your career decisions and you want to know under what domain you want to have your careers. So without wasting further time, let us move to the the career domain structure. So under computer science career domains, broadly we have the following categories. The first thing on which most of our curriculum and the current syllabus and curriculum structure of most of the colleges in India, they are based on software development. And when we talk about software development, some of the sub areas under which most of times we spend our career is on design and development. And under design and development, we mainly concentrate on core hardcore software development, which could further include some specialized software development like mobile and web apps development. And it could also involve animations and developing games. So specifically, when here I say we are talking about animation games, it is related to actually developing the animations, animated movie, or a game, actually writing and coding a games. And some other area of this hardcore software development also falls into embedded software development. When I say embedded software development, I'm mainly talking about software which you write for system level softwares. For example, that could include firmware for specific electronic devices. For example, we have today nowadays we have a lot of cars and automobiles which has inbuilt electronic system, and it has its own software associated with that. So this completely falls under hardcore software development. And if you see here, these blocks have been highlighted in a red color. This indicates that you need a very strong knowledge of programming, data structures, and algorithms if you want your career to be in these domains. And another domain under software development is software services. Broadly speaking, most of our Indian IT industry is concentrated on offering software services. When we talk about software services, what exactly it includes? What are the sub areas of that? Primarily, it includes system administration and DevOps. And when we talk about system administration, we talk about configurations, operating systems, runtime configurations, installing tools, making sure we have a proper pipeline setup for developer. And when we talk about the DevOps, we are mainly talking about testing, deployment, monitoring of deployments, and analyzing the log collection. So all that stuff comes into the system administration and DevOps. And under software services, we have a security. And primarily here, security revolves in achieving the compliance for a specific standard. For example, let's say you are working for or you are providing software services to an organization which does the payment processing. So it is your responsibility as a part of security services which you offer to make sure the security infrastructure, everything is compliant as per, for example, we have a standard called as PCI DSS. It's a compliance. So your software and your system has to run in specialized environment, and this environment has to comply to a specific security standards. So achieving this system into that compliance is one of area where most of job roles do appear. And we do have some other kind of testing roles and career where you are primarily into testing and auditing. When I talk about testing, I am primarily talking about penetration testing, vulnerability testing, seeing what are the security loopholes, what are the bugs in existing system developed and system deployed and software developed. So if you see this, they are slightly colored less intense as compared to the software development blocks. So here this requires almost a high to moderate level of coding experience. Yes, it still requires you to have a very good knowledge of subjects like data structures, algorithms, and apart from that you also need to have a good knowledge of operating systems and some of the fundamental scripting languages like shell scripting, Perl, Python. So that's how this core software development block revolves. And under this broadly revolves around a lot of technological expertise is required in this. Moving ahead, which slightly less intensive is network and infrastructure. When I talk about infrastructure, we are talking about the IT infrastructure. Under this, we have a career domains spanning across computing and infrastructure, networking, and security. And basically, when we talk about computing in the storage infrastructure, it talks about provisioning all required computing resources, storage area networks, providing an environment where your systems and softwares can be deployed. And this could be some of the job roles with cloud service providers like Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. And under networking is an entire domain of computer networks where most of your role goes into designing network architecture, network engineer, network maintenance engineer, and network troubleshooters, routers. Yes, lot of that. To name a few companies in networking domain would be like if your some of your tier one companies in networking would be Cisco, Huawei, and the what we talk some of the companies which provide infrastructure for 4G and 5G networking. So under infrastructure networking, when we talk about security, here we specifically talk about all those roles and responsibilities which take the entire onus of making sure the privacy and confidentiality of data and information is maintained. Here too some of the compliance, but here the security is slightly service oriented and mostly revolves around the concept of infrastructure and networking. Here when we talk about privacy and confidentiality under network and infrastructure subcategory of career domains. And you also need to bother about the communication security. When we configure a set of networking computing infrastructures, you need to very well take care about security associated with data archival, data storage, and the way the data is communicated from one node to other node on network. And moving to next area is academia. uh, Under academia we broadly have two domains where you can end up being a teacher or a tutor, or you could also end up as a researcher. So this could further open a lot of opportunities in R&D area as well, but it's mostly relies around your academic expertise, your ability to publish research, your ability to do research, or basic your inclination towards research. Now if you ask me, does it require any coding, what it is and all that, so you see that as you move towards right side, it requires less and less dependence on your coding. So these are the blocks where you require too much and heavy expertise and proficiency and very high level of expertise in algorithms, data structures, and some of the fundamental technology frameworks. And as and when you move towards the right end of this tree, you will find the career domains which requires less or almost negligible. It would be wrong to call negligible, but almost somehow to a very little extent it requires knowledge about your programming and some related concepts. But in short, you need to have a very broad knowledge of all entire computer science domain if you want to choose any of this block as your career domain. Moving ahead, technical writing. Under technical writing, we have career domains as technical writer who writes the documentation manuals for product. For example, if you open MSDN or if you open Java documentation or Python documentation, those documentations are usually a part of any software deployment or system deployment, but they are specifically taken care by a group of people who have expertise in uh, what I call they have this expertise in writing this technical documentations. Also, you can explore a career as a tech blogger and reviews. We have a lot of sites like Hackster and lot of CNET, ZNet, lot of technical blogs and magazines where you can prefer to be a tech blogger and a person who reviews the technologies. And going further, we have an area or a domain. We call it as creative arts and entertainment. Yes, here in this area too, we need a lot of computer science professional, and their primary roles are in video and audio editing. So there are a lot of creative art fields and entertainment fields like films, short films, web series, which require a lot of video and audio editing. So here we can make a good career opportunity in this. Also, there is a good opportunity in graphics and visual effects, especially when we make animated movies or a lot of modern day movies which come with a lot of uh, uh, animations, special effects. Some of the good example of application of graphics and VFX is your what do I call? You had a movie, um, uh, recent movie, I guess, Avengers Endgame. Lot of such movies they rely on this graphics, and it's itself a very broad area where you can apply. So here you need not code, but you need expertise in using tools and the software suites which let you use this and apply VFS effects. So moving ahead, we have a domain called as sales and marketing. One of the very primary and right now the domain which is into a lot of demand is digital marketing. Under digital marketing, you can specialize in just going for search engine optimization and marketing. So this is an area where you specialize in marketing a product using search engine and search engine marketing like Google AdSense, Bing, and other search engines. We do have a domain under digital marketing who specialize in social media engaging, where marketing a product using Facebook, Twitter, and for example, you have applications like TikTok and other applications, Instagram, Snapchat. It's an area where most of stuff revolves around engaging your fan base and making sure your campaigns run, your market is properly marketed. So this sales and marketing domain usually revolves into selling the software product or some tech service or some software tech product. And we do also have some um, jobs and roles in alternate and affiliate channel advertisements and campaigns. But usually talking, much of current day digital marketing is based on SEO, SEM, and social media engagement. We do also have job roles in product sales, being in actual product sales, marketing, and market research. Yes, large companies, especially the one who have a product as their asset, there is a specialized domain in that company and a section where a group of people are employed just for product sales. So the salesmen here, they are not normal salesmen, they need to have a technical knowledge. And we do have another group in sales and marketing, wherein primarily your role is in customer engagement and providing support. There are a lot of, for example, Microsoft has its own tech support, customer support, and engagement. So it has its own group of people, and they're all technical. They're not a normal customer support. They do need some technical knowledge about operating systems, the way the Microsoft product works, the way other products work. A bare minimum fundamental knowledge of IT is required. And another head is cyber laws and IPR, intellectual property rights. You can also make your career in this domain as well, but it requires little bit having knowledge of law. But usually our role here is restricted to copyrights, patents, and licensing, and having a specialized career as a lawyer, cyber law lawyer, but it does require you to go for additional law courses in order to be eligible as a cyber lawyer. And in the end, the domain which is always open to every candidate in any other domain is entrepreneurship. But now when we talk about entrepreneurship, we need to understand that there are a lot of opportunities in entrepreneurship as well. I would personally categorize them into three areas. One, you have to be, if you decide to have your entrepreneurship in a core technology area, then you need a very good knowledge of fundamentals and technical. You need to have a very good expertise in fundamental technology areas. If not tech, for example, if you ask me an example for technology, it could be Google self-driving car. Here the product is entirely purely based on technology. We do have entrepreneurship in semi-technology. For example, we do have some, for example, let me take an example of Swiggy, where it's not purely based on tech. App is one aspect, but how the Swiggy manages logistic is non-tech. So the delivery people, logistics and all, it's a different one. So that like such startups come under semi-technology. Or you might decide to become a technology blogger or a freelancer. For example, a good example of technology blogger is YouTubers. Some of for example, like Linus Tech Tips. It's a channel who does most of tech vlogging related to PC building, gaming. So it's an another area. We might not exactly call it as entrepreneurship, but yeah, a sort of self-employed, which you can claim as an entrepreneur. So this is a broad area of computer science domain, and you can see that, as I said, as you move towards right, it requires less coding. As you move towards left, it requires more and more technically strong. So now, based on your strength, your inclination toward hardcore DOS software development related to data structures algorithms, or your inclination towards networking, or your inclination towards creative domain, your inclination towards a domain which requires most of interpersonal skills, communication skills, you can now focus on these career domains. So how do you develop your career in this? Make sure you search for a good internship opportunity in these areas, which will give you a very good idea about what's that area. It will give you an idea and a chance to explore that area and evaluate yourself. Are you made for this area? So that you can make a very good decision by the time you graduate from your college, and you can properly choose your careers. As I always tell you, a wisely chosen career is always better than a career chosen by chance or by luck. So that's it for this video, and in future, based on the response and the likes I get for this video, I will, or I may decide to make further more details about each of these blocks. What exactly is a job role? What exactly, how do you want to start? What are the free courses available if you want to start with any of these domains or any of the subdomains? So like and subscribe to this channel. If you have any queries, put them in comment text section. I would be happy to answer them there. So thank you. Have a good day.